there is a huge manifestation power in that. If you can repurpose your pain of the past and your fear of the future, repurpose it. And in the practical, you need to do that as well. Take the resources that you have. Don't look at what you've lost. Don't look at what you would have liked to have and you're not getting. Look at how you can utilize what you have. Be willing to jerry-rig things. Be willing to come up with creative solutions, okay? Because those are the ones that are going to create your new fortune. Welcome to all of you to our Energy Update Week 5 here in the last week of January 22 till 4th of February. Yeah, the official new start according to the lunar calendar. According to the lunar calendar, we are now officially entering the new year. And this week is going to be a fast moving week, a really, really clarifying, kind of tornado energy that is coming into our lives. Not so much in regards to chaos or anything like that, but in regards to this really, really fast moving energy. And after having gone through some of this stagnation that we've all experienced here, not just this last weekend or this last week, I don't know if you guys felt this. Yeah, there was a really, really heavy sort of sludgy energy that could pull us into our inner darkness. We talked a little bit about this on Wednesday. These last 2 years now have basically forced us to put our life on hold. And when that happens, there's a lot of internalization needed, things that, we weren't really so aware about, we didn't really look at. And here in this energy update, in my capacity as someone who works with collective energies, as an energy coach, I'm helping you to find your roadmap through this. So this energy update for week 5 is going to be called FACTSINATION. It's obviously a word play. So nothing to do with actually the vaccination. However, the facts around this. So there's a continued revelation about some of the data clearly showing now how Omicron is basically the end of the pandemic for us, and that probably the best stance and perspective to go through it now is to actually go through it and to lose the fear. And as we are facing it, as we are confronting it, so this is more the tornado energy is this like being suddenly faced with facts, with this is what it is, and also the challenge that comes with that, namely to accept the things the way they are, which we call truth training here in this context of consciousness work and deeper understanding. It brings up some of our fears, the fear of confrontation. And you will see this develop differently in your countries. Some countries are already past this. England, Ireland have already said goodbye to the pandemic last weekend. And some of our countries are still dealing with trying to contain it. Some still think that they have to regulate it. And so we see a lot of movement here in our governments as to how they're dealing with the current situation and how they're trying to really turn things around for people. So this vaccination energy here of this next week is one that brings in a new direction. And how does it do that? And how is that going to feel for us on the inside? So it will come in several stages. So the whole theme of February is that of a new direction. And how are these stages? So the first stage that we are in right now is actually the confrontation with what is. All right, that's the vaccination. And it's fascinating and sometimes not so fascinating how these things could take such a quick turn in our life. Now that forces us to adopt real quickly because it's unpredictable right now, like where this is going to go. Many of us are still in some kind of fear kind of energy. Yeah, we've been in that energy for so long. It's very difficult now to say, well, it's not really anything you need to be afraid of anymore. Yeah, it doesn't go that fast. Yeah, some of us are sitting there forever waiting for this moment and ready to turn this into a new energy, a new creativity, and starting, new things that you have been contemplating about for a long time now, things that you found out are really important to you, that truly matter to you, and you're just waiting to go out and put those into action. So the way we personally perceive this can therefore be bifurcated again. We can experience this as a sort of a rock bottom or sobering catharsis, or we can experience this as, the final go, yeah, to really actually start manifesting into this physical reality. And the way we are supported here, that's why I mentioned the lunar cycles, is right at the beginning here of this month. Yeah, the first, second, right on the cusp here, right of midnight is the new moon. So new moon always brings in a new energy. And this one is very strongly linked to the lunar eclipse in November, guys. And maybe you remember, but in November, we worked on new perspectives. And these new perspectives are now actually coming true. And we need to do something with this. This is here now. Yeah. And as energetically sensitives, I want to remind you that these are things that many of you have years and years, if not decades, in training, namely to see things ahead and to be willing, yeah, to be this sort of early adopter of things because you know where it's going to go. It's an inner knowing. It's an inner guidance. Yeah. And same occurs or applies to these karmic cycles that we find ourselves in that felt a little sludgy here this last week or two, yeah, where we realize all these things that have been holding us back in our life, not just of the past 2 months, 2 years. And so there's a bigger new cycle starting, and that's very important to keep in mind. Yeah, the reason why I'm referring to you as energetically sensitives and the training that you have, that it takes that kind of spirit, it takes that kind of willingness to seemingly swim against the stream. So you're not swimming against the stream if you are assuming and expecting the pandemic to be over soon, if you are in that expectation that things will return to normal, but a new normal. And it's your chance now to really translate these things that you have been standing for, that you have known all along. Yeah. So it can also come with a lot of relief, as the mainstream, yeah, the collective is going through some kind of sobering purge and release, yeah, which will definitely be the challenge here for this next week. It is an opportunity for you for more clarity. So we are beginning to see the larger picture now, yeah, that we can see as we are finally able to stand in truth. And this also means that we have to take a little inventory of the damage that has been done to our relationships, to our jobs, to our personal households, our money, and our children. As you know, I'm very passionate about forming and creating a safe space for children, a new learning model here in Orlando, where with a few other parents, I founded a new school and learning environment that allows children of all age and elementary age, and no matter what their experience was here in these 2 years, to catch up, yeah, and prepare for the future. So a new direction, that comes in here has to do with where you're at. So depending on the level of consciousness that you are at, for some of us, it will be the start of something completely new. And for some of us, it will be the end of something very old, not just pandemic related, but something that has been weaving through your life as a long-standing pattern, at least for the last 20 years. So we are looking at this first inspiration as to how our world can look like, say, in 20 years from now. And that requires you to let go of some of these old fears that have been holding you back. You could clearly see this in the last 2 years. What these fears can do to you and your ability to see clearly, to see what has true value to you, to see what you truly want, what you truly need. Yeah, and the beauty of this first week in February here, this last week in January, that through this purge, which functions like a clearing, of these old energies, you can become able to tap into your true heart's desire. Because quite frankly, guys, when it comes to assessing where you're at, be it your energetic well-being, your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your financial well-being, or your spiritual well-being, it's really important that you take an inventory of what it actually is that you are resisting, that creates this struggle in your life. And when you do that, you have to look deeper. You have to look at, why is this a continual repeating pattern in my life? And how come I'm not able to move past it? And what you will find, and this is why February will also be a month of continued and deeper shadow work, in a good way, you will find that there are things that you had complete blinders for, like things that reach far back into your childhood, like maybe things that have to do with fears that are no longer valid now that you're grown up. So it's really important that you allow these new impulses to transcend these old fears that are no longer valid. You have to let go of these things that are holding you back. I know that many of you have done a tremendous amount of work to getting to know yourself better. Now is the time where you have to really make that choice and look at, okay, yes, I have been having these challenges, but what's the value of them? What have I learned through them? What can I appreciate about this? So many people in your own environments, and you can watch this unfold in real time. Guys, they're like awakening to a reality, that they only know from science fiction movies. But you've already worked with this. Now you just got to move into the practical application of this. What have you truly learned here? And what is the purpose of this? So this new energy that it comes in has a strong purpose energy. You have to recognize what this could possibly be used for. And it's linked to these November energies, these new perspective energies, in that way that you need to shift your awareness around this. What you have been regarding as fated, maybe, or bad karma or bad luck or whatever, however you chose to see it, may just as well be a karmic intervention for you to really tap into what you truly came here for. And we can sit there and bicker about how it came to us and all the struggle that we have gone through. But guys, don't you see how that has made you and prepared you to become resilient, to become willing to see the deeper internal perspective that you are now able to turn around and translate into something tangible. You were forced, yes, it wasn't always comfortable, to look at yourself. And now that's all we need to really tap into this fortunate energy that is coming in with these new cycles that we're entering right now. Yes, we can look at the pandemic as a total tragedy here for our societies, but we can also look at it as finally, this gaslighting and this naivete, this blind trust, is coming to an end. And we actually have to come together and collaborate now to figure out what it is that we truly want to subscribe to. No more monthly subscriptions for stuff that you are not participating in. Yeah, you know what I'm referring to. That's kind of like how this can come to us. What is the purpose of this? Have I been using the perks of that? No. All right, then let it go. Start fresh. If you find out that that's something you do want to engage with later down the road, you can always go back to it. If it is true to you, you cannot really lose it. It will always find a way back into your awareness. But you have to recognize now what the purpose of all this was in the past, going through trauma, karma, and all that, and see the practical value in this. So you'll hear me say this throughout February, guys, that it's really important that you look at what you have. And as you're changing your perspective, your life view, how that changes the value of what you have and the creativity that can come with that is basically that allows you to see, oh, you know what? I've always looked at this as struggle, but now I see how that has actually provided me with in my case, in my personal case, sort of a no nonsense kind of attitude toward life. Yeah. And, the humility, okay, to admit to myself that, maybe I'm not all that big bag of chips. Yeah. Maybe my struggle isn't all that special. Yeah. Maybe it's just something that comes with what it means to be human. But what I have learned through all this adversity is that there is a power in me, the power to come to my own insights, to feel and think this through, and to come up with an attitude toward life that is so powerful, that transcends all the things that I always thought I'm being held back by. I'm referring back to these camelots, to these energy pockets that I talked about 2 weeks ago, guys. This is something you really need to internalize. There is a huge manifestation power in that. If you can repurpose your pain of the past and your fear of the future, repurpose it. And in the practical, you need to do that as well. Take the resources that you have. Don't look at what you've lost. Don't look at what you would have liked to have and you're not getting. Look at how you can utilize what you have. Be willing to jerry-rig things. Be willing to come up with creative solutions, okay? Because those are the ones that are going to create your new fortune. So as I am talking about purge and, this clearing and people around you sort of waking up, like in this harsh awakening kind of way, I want to remind you that this doesn't mean that you have to go and hunker down. This means that you have to stand up. You have to recognize what all this awareness making is for and repurpose it. You, sooner than others, will have a clarity about where these things need to go. Yeah, whether it's in Canada, where you have this awakening of people emotionally to what is actually going on in their country and how it's not okay. And you'll see this run like a wildfire through, yeah, like an earthquake rippling through our societies here in those where there is still this fear-mongering mindset going on. And it will be huge in February, and it will last until the end of April, guys. So we're still going to have to deal with the ramifications of that and the transition period of that. But it's huge what is happening in people right now. And yes, it's not easy because there's a confusion there, an emotional confusion. And because you guys already use the power of your consciousness and your ability to see what all this is for, you can use this. You just have to let go of the bickering and the focusing on the struggle of the past. Let go of it, guys. This is a history-making time in our collective, yeah, for our humanity, okay? And this will mobilize a never before level of awakening to new values. Don't be one of them who wishes the old days back. Remember the old days, guys. You all had to stay in hiding as energetically and spiritually awakened people. Okay, these times are over now. Yeah, you might still be one of the early ones. Okay, and it may still feel a bit outlandish for others. But find that trust in yourself and that confidence that allows you to actually go do something with it. Turn this into a service, into a way of living, a way of making money, a way of collaborating. When I'm talking about repurposing, I'm also talking about a very practical aspect of that. What do I have? How can I use these things differently? How can I motivate and empower other people with what I have? Yeah. How can I use the rocks and the feathers and the whatever stuff that I have laying around in my house, yeah, to build something new? How can I take a building that I have and convert that into a school or into a greenhouse so that I can fulfill a larger purpose? That's the energy of this next week, guys. How can I take this purge energy that is going around, that's happening around you, and repurpose it into a new direction? This is about stepping forward with our passion and true heart's desire. So the worst outcome here is that people are going to go through this big new energy here in February to realize what their true passion is. Okay, and this also have an effect on our relationships. So there is a bit of a stagnation here in our relationships in these last 2 weeks, and you can see how that is actually going to help us to redefine our relationships. There's no better time than now to actually step into, redefining the goals of your relationship, your values, yeah, and the boundaries thereof, and the vision for the next 20 years. And if you're not in a relationship, it's the best time to determine what kind of relationship you have and what you're finally done with. Don't try to be someone you're not. Become aware of your value. Become aware of what you can offer to a partner. And have the confidence to say, look, this is what I can offer. And this is what I want. And if this is not for you, it's okay. Yeah. But if this is what you want, I need you to commit. So February will bring in a new level of commitment based on clarity, based on confidence, and based on new trust in ourselves. It's very, very important that you tune into this. Yeah, what can I do? Instead of constantly, bashing yourself or berating yourself over what you can't do or what you didn't do. Step into this now. There are these larger cycles that want to be completed here with this new moon. Yeah, and you will feel this maybe as agitation, maybe you will feel this as your energy, your physical energy being sort of electrified. Yeah, as in you feel like you have to do something. My tip for you here for this next week, besides some of these perspective changes that are needed for February altogether, is to go with it, go into the purge, guys, step into that and do a detox. Join our community. I'm going to put out the instructions with the video for this energy update in a light 3-day reboot detox starting on Monday. Yeah, not a full fast, because a full fast can sometimes create medical problems, and many of us are still dealing with Omicron or flu or something like that. So you want to go easy on your system, but you want to get your system a boost with vitamins and minerals and good fats, yeah, and good enzymes, while not putting too much weight, too much burden onto your system. So a light fast consists of fresh fruit and vegetable juices, superfoods, yeah, liquefied, basically pre-digested, and broths that can help you to clear out some of the residual toxicity that you've accumulated here through this stagnation time. Yeah, there's obviously other things that you can do, hot, cold showers. Some of you may feel, because it's cold in your countries, a pull into like maybe sauna or infrared heat. Yeah, use these things to kickstart your lymphatic system. Yeah, by really using hotness and coldness, and face it. Yeah, this confrontational energy that is a bit eruptive here in this next week. Face it, step into it, guys, but without going into this emotional lashing out and projecting all that onto others. Yeah, just because it is, and just because people are awakening and watch your spiritual superiority. Yes, people are going to wake up to things that you've been talking about for decades. Okay, watch that. Okay, it's very important that you stay humble here. Just because people are going through this turmoil, yeah, these protests, unrest, and talks of rebellion, okay, you don't need to sit there, and say, I told you so. What you need to do is step into this and go with it, and have that understanding, that compassion for what that's like. And do everything that you can on your own sort of can-do level, yeah, with your emotions, with your body, yeah, to be strong, to be confident in this, and to not get swept away by this. You don't need this anymore, guys. You, or most of you watching here, you already awakened. Yeah. So just get ready to shift your life view now, because you no longer have to be in hiding, and you no longer have to sit there and say, oh, the other people, oh, mind control, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're waking up from it now. So get ready. It's no longer you against the rest of the world. It's now you with the rest of the world. Okay? That's what this energy here brings in. As for your financials, for your material things, the fears of inflation, the fears of war, and so forth, these things have always been there. Yes, you're going to have to focus on what has intrinsic value. And this is why I've tried to inspire you to go into repurposing. Yeah, it's not just about increasing a monetary value of something. It is about increasing the value of what you already have. And sometimes that means that, instead of making sort of risky investments, you focus more on things that actually have a practical value. Yeah, because that's in times where there's a lot of uncertainty and unpredictability, that's something that can give you confidence. Yeah, it is something that will survive if that's what you're afraid of. Okay, then get your head out of, like trying to outsmart everybody else and go back to the basics. Look at what you have and what value is and what this can do. And maybe by repurposing it, by resource sharing, for example, by bringing other people in, by allowing all that, yeah, to develop a value of its own, you can maybe feel that all these things that you have been struggling with in the past, that was just the preparation for this time. We need builders now. We need you. We need the kind of people that see the bigger perspective and that know where this needs to go. Yeah, whether it's in regards to food production, in regards to education, in regards to health care and self-healing, in regards to mental, emotional, spiritual health. We need you now, guys. Yeah, because you already know where this is going. You just didn't believe in it yet. Now's the time to believe in yourself. So this concludes the energy update and tips here for this next week. Yeah, from the 28th till the 4th of February. Okay, I'm wishing you a good weekend. Clearly, you're going to feel this weekend. Go with it, guys. Yeah, go into the confrontation, whatever it is that is coming forward, and don't sit there and say that, oh well, this is what you get from being asleep or being on autopilot. No, this is about understanding the tremendous transformation energy, yeah, that we are finally now feeling coming forward in each and every one of us, because that is how change occurs, guys. We are the change that we have been waiting for, that change in you. And the passion that is arising in you is what will bring about the change. Not you sitting there and say, I told you so, and not doing anything. That's not going to bring about change, especially not in your personal life. So you're done with waiting, guys. Waiting is not going to be beneficial, conducive for you now. You have to step into action, but that doesn't mean that you have to step into rebellion. You just have to see clearly what is, change your perspective. Yes, recalibrate, adjust, adapt as you go. You don't need to know exactly how this is going to work out. You just need to know the first step that you can do, and then you correct as you go. That is the new clarity that is coming in here with these new energies. So enjoy this. Yeah. I see you soon, latest on Wednesday. Or if you would like to know about your personal energy and how you can handle this and what the strengths are that you need to focus on, the challenges and opportunities for February, then go to my website to sign up for the energetic tune-up that we have tomorrow. That's a once a month session, free for the heart warriors, and open for anybody else to join in. It's a deep clearing, energetic clearing session with a live reading for your personal developments in February. And if you have been contemplating about this, whether or not you should join some kind of teaching or school, systematic schooling of, these consciousness and spiritual, tools that you would like to gather, okay, then consider the Heart Warrior program. We have a few spots open now, and I can only encourage you, to take that opportunity now as you're still in that process, to work with me every day practically, not necessarily in person. So once a week we have an energy coaching session, two, 3 times a week you have an energy session, and then there's the workshops and so forth that help you to contextualize all this on an ongoing level for 3 months. Our so-called Heart Warrior Bootcamp, the most popular program that we have here, transCODES. So send me an email if you need more info about it. The website has the info on there, and think about it. This is a really, really good time to invest in these consciousness and energy awareness tools, because they're going to help you to deal with anything that comes along in the future. Love you guys. See you Wednesday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.